Good morning, students. Today, I'm going to teach you something which is often asked in general English uh, paper, and the topic is unseen passage or comprehension passage. My aim is that how you should go through the chapter by reading it. Students are supposed to answer certain questions. So that is why I give you a pre-reading activity, and the activity is that you can go to the library and go through certain newspapers in English and then write it in sequence as a news. Whatever news you have read, you can just note it down on the paper, jot it down on the paper, and then you can read it. So that will help enhance your comprehension of certain things which are unseen or which are not prescribed in your course or which you have not gone through before. Then another thing which I can just ask you to write after reading a news paragraph or reading a news in newspaper. You can write three sentence which will be a summary, or it is a wrap up summary of what you have read in the newspaper. So this is your pre-reading activity which you can do it at home. And now I shall begin with the comprehension passage. When the spring sunshine awakens a man once more to a fresh awesome of his surroundings and takes his mind back to other springs, which first suggested to his infant mind that the earth was a beautiful place, is not invariably a shining river that he remembers. A solitary hills, a green field, and greening woods. It may be, if he was a town mouse and nurtured among bricks and mortar, nothing more than a finch. Children grew bored and they come in the park and had either sitting them. It was the obvious place to play truant and listen to the world which adults might wonder what a child could find to do there alone all day. Twins were untroubled by such trifling problems. At weekends in the summer, in these present days, there are concert panics in the park, and a midsummer night's dream and roller skating. The former patron will remember that in his young days it was always brass hands, good brass brands too, for the audience was expert. The best bands in this country were summer and to the park, and the local paper sent its music critic. The children might be deaf to musical points, but they could not be blind to uniform of scarlet. For the rest, it was their parents who enjoyed it most, the band and the sunshine and the gossip with the friends. Their parents and those older brothers and sisters who had reached the mysterious stage of washing without being told and going for walks without father and mother and flirting with the opposite sex. Though the last phenomenon, to be sure, did not wait on summer bands, it all began in the park in spring. A town park is a poor thing to set beside the country, for many a man before his legs grew strong enough and his spirit independent enough to carry him to the moors or the mountains. A park was his English heaven ere sons of home. It was here that he was pushed along his perambulator, and here Chatty made his first close contact with Mother Earth, though large areas of the Mother Earth in the place might have been carefully concealed by Father Macadian and his associates. The ratio of gravel and asphalt to grass and flowers and waters was likely to be in the neighborhood of 2 to 5, enough of nature reminded enough at least to mark the passage of the seasons. It is not necessary the birds and the flowers that flesh from time to time upon the inward eye of the man, thus indebted to the park. The annual spring visit in a party from school to draw the bursting birds in the botanical garden is remembered less or for his intrinsic excitement than for the relief it afforded from ordinary lessons. The annual furbishing of the boathouse and the tea chalet were much more satisfying signs of spring and of the return to a full life. The boathouse from which the Princess Ida would soon be sitting set around the little more than a duck pound with group of small children gazing down into the depths that was the thirsty strand by of mothers in his long summer holiday when. Now this chapter which I have read, this passage, seems to be little difficult. So now the tip that how you should answer the comprehension questions. The first step is that you go through this passage twice and then you can find the answers to the questions based on the statements made in the passage. For example, the first question is, what did the children like to do during the holidays in the park? Now, the answer is, during the holidays, the children held parties in the park. They enjoyed the sight of the boathouse and which were and the tea chalet, which was given a new look. They wanted them to be called as Princess Ida, setting sail around the small pond with cargoes of small children. When they grew bored, their mothers took them to the tea chalet for a diversion. So that means in order to find out the answer to the question based on the passage, we have to look for the words where, suppose in the question, the what did the children like to do during the holidays? So you have to just go back to the passage and find out those lines which describe all the activities done by the children during the holidays. Now let's come to the second question. What do people who spent their childhood in the town often remember in the springtime? Now, once again, you have to get back to the passage and find out where these lines are written. and then easily you can find out. It is written, the people who spend their childhood in the town of remember of a public park in the springtime. For them the park was their English heaven, air, rivers and suns of home. This was the only place where they came in contact with brother and with Mother Earth and cast an eye on nature. So this is the way you can find out. When first prima facie, when you go through the passage, you may find it difficult, but if you read it twice, you can very well answer it. And the tip for answering the question is that you have to get back to the passage and look to the lines where the description is there. Now, third question, what made the park so lovely at the weekends? Now, you have to look for the description where it is written at the weekends. At the weekend, there were concert parties, plays, or roller skating for the entertainment of the public. These made the park so lovely. Some of them, they cut cakes during the school time and escape to the park to idle away their time there. That is another, this is the answer to the next question. That is, what did some of them do during the school time? So, in the description it is written that some of them, they just want to kill their time, they want to idle their time and they go and sit at the park. Next question is, question number 5. What did children like most about the bands? Now, the answer to this question is, the children like most the scarlet uniforms of the bandsman. Then another question, what used to be heard in the parks when the former patron was a boy? When the former patron was a boy, he always heard good brass bands in the park. Then, what do you understand by the following expressions? A town mouse. A town mouse is a person who is born and brought up in the town, one who has never been into the country and enjoyed the company of nature. Next expression is Princess Ida. Princess Ida is at the boat house. There was a small boat for the entertainment of young children, and the name of the boat was Princess Ida. So, my dear students, by giving you this example, I have told you how you can find out the answers to the passages which are given to you to be solved by you, and for that you have to just go through the passage. In first reading you might find it difficult, but give it another reading and then try to find out the words, the sentences which are written in the question, and if you correlate it to the description in the passage, you find that you get an answer to it. So that was all for my tip, how to solve a comprehension passage, how to give answer for comprehension passages. Thank you.